Well, here is like a really great little camera for cycling. And this particular one is called the GoPro Max. And it's a 360 camera. And there's other brands on the market like the Insta360R. But pretty much they do basically the same thing. They have just a few little different features. But how you operate and how you use them is identical. And why I do believe that a camera like this is like the best camera for cycling where you're not using it for safety like a Fly 6 or a Fly 12. You actually want to capture footage for yourself or for your group, or you're making a YouTube channel like I do. This camera is really great because it can fit in your jersey pocket. You can actually bolt it onto a GoPro mount on your bike, and or you can bolt it anywhere else on the bike using all of the different GoPro mounts available. And these mounts also can be used on the Insta360R, so they're both interchangeable. So let's roll that intro and let's get into how you can use this camera and all the different ways that you can capture footage with something like this on your bike. Well, I've got my GoPro Max camera here and I've got my Look bike, and my Look bike's got a K-Edge out front mount which has a GoPro attachment underneath, and normally you would mount the GoPro directly to that and it would face in the downward direction. Now what I've done is I've added some GoPro extensions so I can get the camera and face it upwards, but it doesn't interfere with the computer that's actually on the bike. So let's go put this right on now. So all I do is mount it like this, and I put the mounting screw in, screw it up, and then I face it upwards about 45 degrees. Tighten it up. In this position, it's filming you and it's also filming what's in front and everything around it. Now the beauty of this is you can maintain your hands on the controls and it will not interfere with your riding. It's just there. And you're capturing everything in front and you're capturing everything behind, which is you on the bike. And if you wanted to, you could actually render twice and have a picture of the person out front in picture with you who's actually riding the bike, so people can actually see two views at the same time if you was making a video. You can also capture people that are at the side because it's picking up everything. Now what we can also do is, I've got a wrist mount here, we can actually mount it on our wrist. So what we would do is just like any other GoPro, we'd mount it on this wrist mount. Let's just screw it on. And then we just put it on our wrist. And now we have it on our wrist. Now the beauty of this is you actually don't even have to face it at anyone. So you can be riding your bike and you can hold your arm out so you can get a different perspective, or you can bring it back in. And this actually works pretty well. I've tried this. It gives a little bit of a different perspective, but so you can put your arm out and get quite a different view, or you can hold it like on your handlebars, and then you just obviously choose what you want in post. And when it's on the side handlebar, you can choose the people on the side, or yourself, or the bike, or the ground, or whatever, or the people in front. So this is another option you can do with the 360 camera, and you don't have to worry about pointing it, you just ride your bike as normal because you can choose that in post. Now another pretty good position to mount it on, which gives you a bit of a quite different perspective, is you can bolt it onto the bottom here underneath your down tube, and this gives you quite an unusual perspective of your pedaling and the front wheel, and it's quite down low, so it gives you a whole nother experience of view. And you basically just put this on as you would do, put it on your wrist. You just tighten it up, just lock it down there like that. We can even double that over if we want to, double that over, and then we can adjust this piece here to where we want it. So we can face this down here, and then we can turn on the GoPro, the same thing with voice command, because obviously we can't reach down here. So it's nice and neat. So that's another perspective you can use. Yeah, and the last position I'm going to show you is this one round here, where you can put it round here, but it just all comes up to your imagination and what you want to do. So if I wanted to put this round here like this, I just fit it on here like this, and I can feed the Velcro strap through, double that over, and I can put that in there. And then I can adjust this to wherever I want to. I can even have it out to the side like this, or I could put it straight up like that. and it'll capture everything 360. That's another option you can do. Is it a little bit loose, I'd get it a bit tighter. So let's just try that. You can really pull that down, get it nice and tight. That's another option. And as I said, I've even mounted it down on the seat tubes down here and all different spots to make videos in the past. So it's really quite handy, and you can get some very, very interesting shots with these 360 cameras. Well, as you can see here, we have the typical looking drone shot that you get from these 360 cameras. But what I've actually got, the GoPro is sitting on a stick, and because of the way the camera's stitched together, it makes the stick invisible so you can't see it. So all you can see is this view of me, but it looks like someone's filming me from in front. So it's a really good view. And Lawrence Carpenter uses this view a real lot. Yeah, so you can also hold it out the back of you, and it gives this view of like a drone's following you, same sort of picture. So it's pretty cool, the different sort of shots you can get using the selfie stick. You can even hold it right down by the front wheel, get a view like this. So you get a view of the front wheel very close to the ground. So there's lots of different views you can actually do with this camera. So in conclusion, you can see that this little camera, using all of the different GoPro mounts and attachments, you can fit it onto your bike in a number of different ways. And the greatest thing about it is you can start and stop the video verbally. You don't actually have to push a button or start it. You can actually see that it starts and it beeps at you when you say GoPro start recording. And I do believe the Insta360R works exactly the same. You can also mount it on your arm. You can have a armband. You can mount it on your bike. And the beauty of this is you don't even have to take your hands off the handlebar. You don't have to hold the camera out and point it at you. You can just say GoPro start recording and it will record, and you're riding, and you're not actually having any interruptions to your actual riding pleasure, or having to compromise your riding to hold a camera or point it towards you. You can also use the invisible stick and hold that out in front of the bike, and you can actually get that drone effect, which is a really nice effect. So it looks like someone's riding along in front of you and filming you riding along. And this is used really effectively. It gives a really lovely picture. And these cameras really are great when you're outside. The only limitations I found to these is if it's dark, they don't work too well. They need to have really bright light to give a really good picture. But the quality is pretty good in those conditions. So if you actually want to see some more footage of how this is being used, just go and check out Lawrence Carpenter. He's a cyclist in the UK, and he uses these 360 cameras a lot. And you can see how he gets some really great shots using this camera. Well, anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it. So if you're interested in a camera and you like to capture yourself riding or your group rides or whatever, then check out this camera. Cheers. I'll catch you next vid.